Greetings everybody, how are you all doing today? So it has been a little over a year since I ended up leaving the Disney College Program, having to come back from Anaheim back to San Diego and looking for a job back home. I left the college program kind of mostly with no regrets. I made that decision having to leave the college program with financial on the thing about the financial side and also thinking about the personal side, being away from home, from family, from Roxanne for a little over 6 months, from June to January. So there were a lot of factors in that decision having to come back from Anaheim to San Diego. With that said, after a year, there are some shoulda, coulda, wouldas. So I decided to list a couple of them, even though I came out from the Disney College Program very happy and satisfied with my time over there and having met a wonderful group of people at World of Disney. WOD is still the best. I miss everybody there, and I would do anything to go back and work there one more time, do stock or just work in that. I'm not sure about working in that costume again, but I would definitely want to work back at house. It was just super fun back there. Anyway, let's get started with the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. I think the first shoulda, coulda, woulda on this list definitely affects the long run. And I shoulda applied for lead. And I did not know that we were able to apply for lead. And I remember one of my good friends, Tim, who I trained with in the beginning days of our college program, he ended up applying for lead and got it, along with one of our other friends, I think Olivia. She applied for a special events position, and she ended up getting that as well. And thinking about it, I'm not sure if I would have gotten the position as lead, but if I were to have gotten it, it would have affected my resume building and building up that leadership experience that I would have wanted to obtain, picking it up for the future. And a lot of companies look towards that leadership experience, and I think that if I were to have gotten a lead position, I think it would have been great to have that foundation as a leader. And with that said, I don't exactly remember how far in the college program that they allowed the CPs to actually apply for lead. Well, the main reason why I didn't apply for lead is because I didn't know that we could as CPs. I thought it was for the part-timers that wanted to become lead. But thinking about it, if I were to have applied for lead, it would have put that commitment to that time and I've seen a lot of my friends being very stressed because of those leadership positions, but that's a part of the job. Secondly, big shoulda for me was that I should have participated in more CP events. I know I mentioned this in prior videos, and I probably in my blog to Imagineering and Beyond.blogspot.com. I didn't participate in the Kaboom Disney volunteer event. That's where you build a playground out of scratch, and I heard that there were some Disney execs that were helping out in the event, and it was a great networking experience as long as a community experience, and it was a great event overall, having Disney volunteers and some of the community in that neighborhood help out and build that playground. So I missed out on that amazing event, and I think I ended up driving back home during that time period where they had the event. So I like, when I think about it, I didn't regret it, but that was something I could have done later before when I was in the program. Other events that I ended up skipping on was the tour of Walt's apartment, going up the firehouse, riding Tower of Terror with no lights and no music, riding Space Mountain with the lights on. Those are like some events that were very exclusive to CPs, and some events that are very limited in quantity and like spaces for part-time or full-time cast members. Like, you would have to get in a raffle or win like a lottery or something to participate in those events, and those were events for free for CPs. So if you are participating in the college program, I would highly recommend to do those programs while you can and get in that list. And even if you're on the wait list, there's always a chance that you could do it. I remember I was on the wait list for the Tower of Terror event, and they ended up calling me like an hour prior to the event saying that it opened up, and just let them know if I was available to do it. Unfortunately, I was already driving back home, so I wasn't able to do the event. One last thing that I could have done in the program afterwards, at least, is that has been a lingering thought ever since I left, is that I could have stayed in Anaheim, but it was very questionable on whether if I should stay or not, and it was a very gray area for the amount of hours that we would get, since January is like where the season drops down, attendance isn't very high. We weren't expected to get a lot of hours during that time, and hours weren't guaranteed like how we were or like how you are as a CP. CPs are guaranteed a certain amount of hours, and if I were to have stayed, I would have been dropped down to part-time, and having limited hours, I would have to call in or switch shifts with people or other cast members to get more hours, and I didn't want to have to deal with that week after week, trying to see if I can gather as many hours as I can, because I was desperate. And it could have been easy to find an apartment with the amount of friends that I made up in Anaheim, but just dealing with the whole rent, because I really got to deal with Roxanne's cousin when I was staying up in Anaheim, and I just knowing that I wouldn't be able to get at that much of a deal in an apartment, and having to put in money for like water and bills and utilities and everything like that would have added up to my monthly bills, and again, hours weren't guaranteed, so I wouldn't have gotten as much money guaranteed as I was in the college program. So those were kind of the factors in going into why I didn't stay in Anaheim. But it is what it is. And thinking about it, if I stayed in Anaheim, who knows about the whole Glendale Disney professional internship at WDI. If I were to have lived in Anaheim at the time of the interview, I would have been more likely to have gotten to the internship, because I was living closer to Glendale rather than living in San Diego at the time of the interview. So who knows what would have happened if I actually lived in Anaheim and was still working at Disneyland. So those are my big shoulda, coulda, wouldas for the Disney College program. So I hope you learned from my choices in the Disney College program, and hopefully it leads for a bigger success for you all. And I wish you the best of luck in your college program if you do decide to participate. And you are in for a wild ride. You are not going to regret it at all. I promise you that. You're going to have a lot of fun meeting people of many ages, and friends that you're never going to forget. Again, the Disney College program was one of the best decisions I made, and I would do it again if I could. Alright, and that'll be it for today's video. Disney College program, shoulda, coulda, wouldas. And thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned a lot from this video, give it a thumbs up. Also, if you're interested in being updated of my life, or whether Disney, GoPro, sports, whatever, you name it, I do tag on Tuesdays, I do Disney challenges on Fridays, and I do a lot of GoPro sports stuff every now and then. But I will be uploading every day for the year of 2014, because I challenged myself to do so. So be sure to stay updated and subscribe, hit that button below, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace.